Holy places are dark places. It is life and strength, not knowledge and words that we get in them. Holy wisdom is not clear and thin like water, but thick and dark like blood. If you are drawn to the left hand path, it's usually because you've had some kind of life experience that has shocked you, awakened you. We are not on this planet to ask forgiveness of our deities. Christian morality, so called, has all the characters of a reaction is in the great part of protest against paganism. Its ideal is negative rather than positive, passive rather than action, innocence rather than nobleness, abstinence from evil rather than energetic pursuit of good, and its percepts, as has been well said, thou shalt not predominates undulate over thou shalt. What comes when it comes will be what it is. I don't have a philosophy, I have senses. If I talk about nature, it's not because I know what it is, but because I loved it. And that's why I loved it. Because when you love, you never know what you love, or what you love, or what love is. Loving is eternal innocence, and the only innocence is not thinking. A spiritual organization with a hierarchical structure can convey only a consciousness of estrangement, regardless of what teachings or deep inspirations are at its root. The structure itself reinforces the idea that some people are inherently more worthy than others. Forever religion wrapped up the other. I don't regret anything I was before because I still am. I only regret not having loved you, but put your hands in mine. Let's be quiet, surrounded by life. Accept the universe as the gods gave it to you. If the gods wanted you to give it to you, something else, they'd have done it. But if there are other matters in other worlds, there are. Accept the universe as the gods have gave it to you. If the gods wanted you to give you something else, they'd have done it. If I knew I was going to die tomorrow and spring came the day after tomorrow, I would die peacefully because it came the day after tomorrow. If that's its time, when else should I come? I like it that everything is real and everything is right, and I like it like that. But it would be like this even if I didn't like it like that. And so if I die now, I die peacefully because everything is real and everything is right. I'm one of the sensations. And one of my sensations, if I could take a bite of the whole world and feel it on my palate, I'd be more happy for a minute or so. But I don't always want to be happy. Sometimes you have to be unhappy to be natural. Not every day is Sunday. When there's been no rain for a while, you pray for it to come. So I take unhappiness with happiness naturally. It's like someone who doesn't find it strange that there are mountains and plains and there are cliffs and grass. What you need is to be neutral, natural, and calm, and happiness and an unhappiness to feel like someone's seeing. To think like someone walking. These feet are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these feet are gonna walk all over you. And the sunset is beautiful, and the endless night is beautiful. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. And I find a happiness in the fact of accepting, and the sublimely scientific and difficult fact of accepting the inevitable natural. Even so, I'm somebody. I'm the discoverer of nature. I'm the astronaut of true sensations. I bring a new universe to the universe because I bring the universe to itself. I'm glad I see with my eyes and not with what I've said. Beware of organizations that proclaim their devotion to light without embracing, bowing to the dark. For when they realize half the world, they must devalue the rest. I'd like to have enough time and quiet to think about absolutely nothing, to not ever feel myself living, to only know myself in others' eyes reflected. That was their way, their heathenish hope. Deep in their hearts, they remembered hell, autumn moon, and cautious in the dark river. Winter's ghost walks with a covered face and silver bones, waiting all animals to be bone cloth upon her shoulder. Wait for her happiness, and that they are silver. I should add, however, that particularly an occasion of Samhain bonfires were lit with the express intention of scattering away the demonic forces of winter, and we know that at Beltman in Scotland, offerings of baked custard were made within the last 170 years to the eponymous spirits of wild animals, which were particularly prone to prey upon the flocks, the eagle, the crow, and the fox, among others indeed. At these seasons, all supernatural beings were held in peculiar dread. It seems by no means improbable that these circumstances reveal conditions arising of the later solar pagan worship, in respect of which the cult of fairy was relatively greatly more ancient and perhaps held to be somewhat inimical, and a rascal. It's stupid, but it's human, and that's how it is. It's stupid, but it's human, and that's how it is. A passing, I stay like the universe. Night doesn't fall for my eyes. Night doesn't fall for my eyes, but my idea of the night is that it falls for my eyes beyond my thinking and having any thoughts. The night falls concretely, and the shining of stars exists like it had weight. When what we do internally affects the world. What we do eternally affects the world around us, and the world around us affects our inner world. With this notion, nothing is separate, and our inner and outer worlds are intricately tied to one another. Eat of my deep earth, drink of my living streams, for I am your mother earth. Your heart is my wild drum, you're beneath my eternal song. If you would live, dance with me, dance with me. The portraits are more historical than about artistic interest had gone, and tapestry full of the blue and bronze of peacocks, fell over the doors and shut out all history and activity untouched with beauty and peace. And not when I looked at my crapulai and pondered on the rose in the hand of the Virgin, wherein the form was so delicate and precise that it seemed more like a thought than a flower, or at the great dawn, and rapturous faces of my Francesca, Blana, la la, la, ca. I knew all Christians' ecstasy, what it is without his slavery to rule and custom. When I pondered over the antique bronze gods and goddesses, which I mortgaged my house to buy, I had all a pagan's delight in various beauty, and without his terror, as sleepless destiny in his labor, with many sacrifices. And I had only to go to my bookshelf, where every book was bound in leather stamped with intricate ornament and of a carefully chosen color. Shakespeare in the orange, and the glory of the world. Dante in the dull red of his anger, Milton in the blue-gray of his formal calm. And I could experience what I would of human passions without their bitterness, without their satiety. I had gathered about me all gods because I believed in none, and experienced every pleasure because I gave myself none, but held myself apart, individual and indissoluble, a mere polished steel. I looked in the triumph of this imagination at the birds of Hera, glowing in the fiery light, as though they were wrought of jewels. In the mind, for which symbolism was a necessity, they seemed the doorkeepers of my world, shutting out all that was not as affluent of beauty as their own. And for a moment I thought, as I had thought in so many other moments, it was possible to rob life of every bitterness except the bitterness of death. And then thought, which had followed this thought time after time, filled me with a passionate sorrow. And when we say also that the Word, who is the first birth of God, was produced without sexual union, and that he, Jesus Christ, our teacher, was crucified and died and rose again and ascended into heaven again, on a whitely cloudy day, I get sad, almost afraid, and I begin to meditate about problems I make up. And science wants to be truthful, but science is more truthful than the science of things without science. I close my eyes, and the hard earth where I'm lying has a reality so real, even my back feels it. I don't need reason. I have shoulder blades. Shoulder blades. Away goes today. The sky is as enormous. The sky isn't enormous, man. The sky is just an enormous man. It's stranger than every strangeness in the dream of all the poets and the thoughts of all the philosophers that things are really what they seem to be, and there's nothing to understand. Those of us who embrace the feminine know is strength. The man stopped talking and was looking at the sunset. But what does someone who hates and loves want with a sunset? I don't believe in him, and if he does exist, I don't like him. His type of gods aren't gods who echo how mortals behave. They're gods who are held up as example of perfection to the emulated. Emulated, they're not gods of the people. They're remote and inaccessible. They demand blind, unthinking obedience from their followers. They're dictators we assert, and the nerve, by contrast, are mirrors. Other gods rule. We reflect and magnify. We are you, only more so. We share your flaws and foibles. We are so human-like, as we are divine, and I think we are all the better for that. Against spit and religion, I said. When you're outnumbered by the trees, your perspective shifts. I think about this, not like someone's thinking, but like someone breathing, and I look at the flowers and smile. I don't know if they understand me, okay, or I understand them, but I know the truth is in them, and in me, and in our common divinity of letting ourselves go and live on the earth, and carrying us in our arms through the contented seasons, and letting the wind sing us to sleep, and not have dreams in our sleep. And since today's all there is for now, that's everything. Who knows if I'll be dead the day after tomorrow? If I'm dead the day after tomorrow, the thunderstorm day after tomorrow will be another thunderstorm than if I hadn't died. Of course, I know thunderstorms don't fall because I see them, but if I weren't in the world would be different. There would be me less. There would be me less, and the thunderstorm would fall on a different world and would be another thunderstorm. No matter what happens, what's fallen, it's what'll be fallen when it falls. I consider a dream like I consider a shadow. I answered a cat row, and with his usual divine, unexpected promptitude, a shadow is real, but it's less real than a rock. A dream is real. If it weren't, it wouldn't be a dream, but less real than a thing. That's what being real is like. I'm a kid thinking about fairy tales and believing in fairy tales. Acts like a sick god, but like a god, because even though he affirms that what doesn't exist exists, he knows things exist that he exists. He knows exist and doesn't explain itself, and he knows there's no reason at all for anything to exist. All he knows being is the point. All he doesn't know is that thought isn't the point. If the poet we love is the poet we love, then not the philosopher, what we really get from these poems, I know them, is probable, as I'll suggest, that the pagan religion was never systematically understood by those who practiced it. Different areas of Scandinavia worship different gods at different times in the pre-Christian era. The localized nature of cults and rituals produced neither dogma nor sacred texts. As far as we know, rather, pre-Christian religion was a disorganized body of conflicting traditions that was probably never reduced in heathen times to consistent orthodoxy, such as Snorre attempts to present. But amorous shepherd is a fruitless interlude. Those few poems among the world's greatest love poems, because they're love poems about love from above. And a turtle dove, love from above. I'm forever freestyling the religion of paganism to you. Yes, it's true.